Welcome to our flower farm. We grow on about 2,000 square feet of easy to grow mixed cut flowers to bring down to sell at our farmers market. And I will give you a tour of everything I have because, oh, it's looking so good right now. This is the main location where we grow the majority of our cut flowers. This section is just a little bit over 1,000 square feet, and we have 6 50-foot beds in here where we grow zinnias, snapdragons, filler flowers. We got a bunch of amaranth, basil, celosia, and we also have some perennials like some liatris, but I will show you all my favorites and all the details. Our main money-making flower is zinnias. Everyone loves them. They're so beautiful. There's so many options, and for us, they're really easy to grow. They're quite drought tolerant. They hold up really well out in the heat. When we bring them down to the farmer's market, we can bash them pretty good without damaging them. And they just make a really nice showing. So we actually have almost 2 full beds of zinnias in here, and I feel like if we were going to add even more flower farm, we'd have to be adding more zinnias. They're so versatile, so fun, and so easy. Last year we grew quite a few different varieties of zinnias, and we found that having the different options didn't bring as much value to our customers as just having the beautiful ones. And so this year our focus was on mainly growing Bennery's Giant, and also instead of growing a mix of Bennery's Giant, to grow specific colors. So we have an entire bed here that's blocks of colors of different Bennery's Giant zinnias. The other zinnia that we grew is the Lime Queen series zinnias, and we grew all 4 of the colors. I think there's an orange, a blush, a red, and a green. And like, this is the red. I think this might be a blush, but they mix really nicely together. They are quite unique in the color palette, and they have a crazy vase life. The orange Lime Queens, some of the ones that we had last year, they lasted up to 3 weeks on our windowsill when we brought them in. So when you have a flower that, you know, like holds up that good, you gotta grow it. So we also have about a half bed of that. With the Bennerys, we wanted to have the specific color blocks so that we could come and pick a bucket that was only one color, just to make our lives easier for when we go to make bouquets. If we want to have, you know, a purple flower in a bouquet, instead of having to pick it out of a mixed bucket, we can come just pick purple. And so the colors that we picked on the Bennery's Giants was, we did lilac, and so you can see like in here all of these are lilac Bennery's Giant, but you know, there's quite a range of what counts as lilac. And then we got the light pink, and yet again, right, like some are lighter, some are brighter, but you know, all the same pretty much. The one that I was so excited about, and the flowers have been a little bit smaller. They haven't been as big or as punchy, but the color, these are lime Bennery's Giant, and I love that green color. It's so versatile. I feel like it matches with absolutely anything I want to pair it with. But it's not overpowering. So I love this color. I want to grow it every year. And oh, this color too. I can't get over this one. This is Coral Bennery's Giant, and a few of these, like look at this one. Look how full this flower is. Just gorgeous. You know, and yet again, you can see how the colors, some of them are more orangey, some of them are more pink. Which I like, right? Like I like that if I did a bunch of all just the same color, that there's still some variation in it, some interest. And then we did orange orange Bennery's Giant.
What do you say about orange?
It's bright. And then the final color that we did is wine Bennery's Giant. These colors, I spent way too long overthinking it. The plan is I wanted something that was punchy on its own, but could pair, and I wanted either I could have all the colors together paired, or I could have 3 of the colors paired, and then it would give me distinct looks. So far I'm really happy with this mix. I think there was almost 15 color options, so it was hard to limit it, and you know, I have to admit, I'm regretting not having them all, but this is gonna make my life easier, and I mean, they're so gorgeous. If I could grow one thing, I would grow Bennery's Giant Zinnias. This is the one thing I would have if I could have nothing else. For the Lime Queens, I have them all here. This is my orange Lime Queens, and then I have the green Lime Queens, the Lime Queens. And then I have these. They got a little bit of pink in the middle. These are the blush Lime Queens, all in here. And then finally, this section here is my red Lime Queens. I had a lot of issues this year with getting my Lime Queens to germinate. For the zinnias to grow them, I actually start them ahead of time just to get my blooms as early as possible, because I'm always desperately waiting for the flowers to start. And I had really bad germination. I probably had about 50%. I struggled with germination on a lot of things this year, so I'm not blaming the seeds specifically, but I do know that my Lime Queens had a little bit more mildew issues. They were a little bit more susceptible to the leaves dying off and being unhealthy, whereas the Bennerys, you know, super vigorous, super, you know, they just went and went and went. There's like bugs everywhere. Ian is very impatient.
I keep telling Serina we need to lead with the dahlias, the dinner plate dahlias that look so amazing. But she wants to talk about zinnias and snapdragons.
This farm section is my favorite part of the flowers, these zinnias and these snapdragons, because this is the stuff that I cut and sell and make a lot of money on, whereas some of the other things are more for fun, like the dinner plate dahlias. So we will get to that, but first, we gotta talk about these snapdragons, because they are, I love them. I love working with them. I love putting them into my bouquets. I find that, you know, with the way they're these spikes, they just add so much to just a simple clump, and I'm not very good at growing them. These actually look okay. These are the Rocket series of snapdragons, just a mix of colors, but I struggle with growing them, and my dream is to eventually be able to grow these big, beautiful, proper snapdragons, and then I can sell just bunches of snapdragons, because that's what I'd love to bring into my house, just a dozen snapdragons. They're so beautiful. But look at these colors. So nice. These are my very sad snapdragons that I probably shouldn't even show you guys because they're so embarrassing. My mom makes fun of me every time she sees these. But these, I've been using these in the bouquets. They still look great in the bouquets. They look pathetic and almost dead here. But the point of this is that you don't have to grow amazing flowers to be able to put together an amazing bouquet. So if your snapdragons look as sad as mine, don't feel so bad about it. And I also wanted to show that this variety, you can see that the flowers are opened a little bit more. These are part of the Chantilly series, and these were supposed to be producing a little bit early than the Rocket ones, and they did. So I'm really excited to have tried these out this year. Yet again, do better next year. Can't have pathetic ones, but they're super beautiful the way they're open faced. I really like them, and the colors, I really like the colors on them too. I have a love-hate relationship with cosmos. I love how they turn into this just wall of flowers literally the day after I pick them, but I absolutely hate picking them, and they're just they just go everywhere. They're like hard to keep up with. So after last year, we grew a whole row of them, and I was like, I'm never growing those again. But then I still did plant them again. But I was a little bit more intentional about what I planted. This year, I planted a mix of colors of the Double Click series. These are all Double Click series cosmos. But last year, the ones that I grew out here, they looked a lot more like this and a lot less like this. This is like exactly what you can get when you get the Double Click series. You know, not all of them are gonna be that full, but a lot of these are. And so this, you know, this looks a lot more stunning than the other cosmos that I have, where they were just dropping their petals. You know, they didn't look like much in a bouquet. And this, I can smash this, it holds up, and that is very important to me. So I'm really loving them this year. I'll probably grow them again. I did a chunk of the mixed colors, which has like some, you know, some lilacs and some of these rich berry tones and some whites and blushes. And then I also did a pure white, and I really like them as like a filler flower. And I've also heard people talking about, you just use the greens. Like you don't even pick anything with a flower. You just use the frilly, ferny stems as a green filler, which is an amazing idea, because these, when the heat comes, like you literally need to be hacking the entire plant back. So it's a great way to keep them under control. They do look super romantic. When I, you know, just a cluster of these, I've noticed when I'm selling them, if a man pulls over and he's buying a bouquet for his wife, he totally wants like a only cosmos bouquet. He thinks that's what his wife wants. He's like, oh, it's so soft and womanly, and it's what he brings home to his wife. The women, they all buy themselves the beautiful, super structured, bright, punchy colored zinnias, but men love to buy cosmos for women.
Maybe they're buying it for themselves.
They might be buying it for themselves. And they're just lying to me because they feel bad about it. Woo. Another plant that I've completely failed at growing for the second year in a row, but oh my god, this is so amazing. So like life goals, I need to learn how to grow this properly. This is Celosia, and look at the colors on these ridiculous things. And these, they're very firm and like dried out, so they keep super good, and you can dry these and they keep their color. This stuff is amazing, and when you grow it properly, they, you know, they're not like 2 feet tall, they're like 4 feet tall, and there are these big huge hedges, and you just come and you can cut them, and they go and they go and they go. Mine aren't that. But even these sad little pathetic things are so beautiful. And this variety here, this is called Pampas Plume, and it does kind of these, you know, these wheat head type flowers, and it comes in a whole mix of these bright, stunning colors. But the Celosia, you can, like, it's crazy all the different options. You can get these fan-shaped coxcomb varieties, and they get like massive, you know, like this is a sad, pathetic one. They'll get huge, just this huge feature and these bright, stunning colors. And when we were picking through the different seeds, I was like, it's hard to restrain myself. I'm doing my best possible, but oh, the color, like individual colors, all these different shapes. They had the fans, they had the stems, they had small ones, big ones. The options in this are incredible. You can have something bright and punchy, like what I have here that I want, or down to like really romantic, soft colors. So this is like a super versatile plant, and yet again, super drought tolerant and easy to grow. I just suck at growing flowers. The main green that we grow for filler in our bouquets is basil. And we grow green, this is a lemon basil, and then this darker one is a cinnamon basil. These I love, partially because this smells like lemon and this smells like cinnamon, and when I work with it, it's like I come inside after making bouquets and it's like I've doused myself in the most beautiful smelling perfume ever. And it also means that at the market, when people grab like their bouquet to take home, it releases this beautiful, beautiful scent, as well as it's just super beautiful. I've heard that some people have issues with this as a cut flower because it wilts on them. I haven't struggled with it that much, but anytime I do my cut flowers, what I do is I cut them and then I put them inside in an air-conditioned room where, you know, it's cool and it's dark, and I give them a few hours before I make any type of bouquets with them. And so that might be the trick. It also just might be we're so dry here. Humidity, like, you know, even I melt in the humidity, so I don't blame basil if it does too. I had really poor germination on my basil this year, so I just didn't have enough of the lemon and cinnamon basil started for the amount of filler that I want. So I had a bunch of leftover, just basic, I think this is Genovese basil. This is, you know, I normally would grow this for food in the food part of our farm, but I planted it in here and I've been giving it a try, and so far I've been really liking this as a filler too. It's getting as tall as my lemon and my cinnamon basil, and I love the green on it. It's a really rich, vibrant color, which goes really well with the rich, vibrant colors of our zinnias, and the vase life has been as good as the other basils. So, you know, if you have something in your culinary garden, you can consider that for doing cut flowers too, because it's amazing how happy I've been with this, even though this was me trying to fix a mistake.
Hey Serina, I think we can go one video without you talking about amaranth.
No, because I'm obsessed with it. This is my absolute favorite thing. Last year at the market, I had some people be like, you know, your bouquets are really unique. I have never seen anyone's bouquets that look like yours. And I still don't know if that was supposed to be a compliment or not, but I know what she means, because I can't not put amaranth in every single one of the bouquets that I make when I have it. And then they end up just, they very much become just this amaranth bouquet. But oh, I love the browns. This is a new variety this year. I can't remember the name of it, but it's green and brown. Like this one here is a perfect example where half of it's like two-toned. It reminds me of the Batman character Two-Face, which I don't know why, but it does, and I love it. And then you got these like super rich dark colors. This is Velvet Curtain. This one here, I love the brown against the green on the foliage. This is Hot Biscuit, and I mean, this is a totally useless plant. Like, what am I gonna do with this? Like here, like this, like, oh, it's just like 1 square foot of weird brown seeds. Like, what am I gonna do with that? But I love it. I just love it. So, no, I will always talk about it, Ian. This one is the one I'm the absolute most obsessed with this year. I have no idea how to use it in bouquets, because look at these tassels. They're like down to the ground. Like, basically, like, I'm like, oh, it's just like, it's like a feather boa plant. That's like what you should do with it. You should just wear them because it's so beautiful. And I love this stuff. This is Coral Fountain, and everything about this I love. I love the pink. I love the chartreuse of the foliage. I want to have like a half bed of this stuff next year. I don't know how to use it yet, but I'm gonna figure out, because it's gorgeous. I love it. I still have more bits and pieces that I want to show you in there, but Ian's heckling, so let's go over to the dinner plate dahlias.
Is this thing on? The dahlias don't actually make a lot of sense from like a flower farm perspective because vase life on them like actually really sucks, and dealing with tubers, and they don't survive our winters, so we gotta like dig stuff up. That's a bit of a pain in the butt and a fair amount of labor, and we still don't have it dialed in as to how to save them over the winter because we just have problems in our climate with the tubers surviving. So it's like, why are we growing 3 beds of dahlias? And it's mostly because we got hooked on them last year. We grew a few varieties, but the Myrtle's Folly dinner plate dahlias, we're like, whoa, these look so cool. They were like productive, they were just going for a while, and they were just like the best thing that we were growing to look at in the farm. And so this year we're like using YouTube as an excuse to be like, oh, you know, everybody's gonna want to see more flower content, so we should like grow all these dinner plate dahlias. We literally bought hundreds of dahlia tubers, like ridiculous. And some of those we sold. You know, we actually found a little business niche with like bringing in these dinner plate dahlias and then selling them at the nursery. And that's something that I want to use in the future to justify getting more varieties of these because some of them look like really, really cool. Serina's already grumbling. Last night she was showing me like how many views our veggie content gets compared to our flower content, because at Serina's heart she loves to grow veggies more than anything else, which, you know, fair enough. Food is very important, but you know, like the flowers are cool and it's fun to have a section and a part of our life devoted to those too. So if you want to see more flower content, you need to share this video with your friends so that I can show Serina that people actually want to see us grow flowers, and we can, you know, have this crazy backdrop of beautiful dahlias again next year.
Oh yeah.
I will give Ian this. I booked us a family portrait session. We're getting a photographer to come in and take pictures of us because obviously this is the best backdrop ever and we have to take advantage. It looks so beautiful, and you will see us in front of here for all the rest of the summer's worth of videos. This is most definitely going to be our YouTube backdrop. So there is some value for that, but our farm has limited space. These dinner plate dahlias are insane. I'm putting my head up here to show you just how big these are. That, you know, this is no perspective tricks being used. These are just like that big, and they look so incredible right now because when you have the first flowers that come out, they're always the biggest flowers because there's just so much energy that's gone into creating that one. By the time like all these rest start to bloom, they'll start to be quite a bit smaller. You know, like this one that Ian broke off, it doesn't have that same look, but oh my god, they're so big. These are so big that they're useless. Like we can't even use these in a bouquet because they're just overwhelming. Like this has some function, but I love looking at them. We also grew a bunch of dahlias from seed, and we did like tall, big varieties that maybe would have potential to be used as cut flowers. We grew pom-pom. I'm pretty sure that this is pom-pom. And then we also grew Showtime, and I think this is the Showtime. And they bloomed way earlier than our tubers. They just go and they go and they go. Every Thursday I come out here and I cut every single bloom off of these, and today is Tuesday, and you know, I could have come and cut all of this again on Monday or Sunday, and it still probably would have been cut back again. So the production on them has been like crazy, and we didn't know what they were going to look like with them being seeds. It's a mix of colors, but there's been some, like, they're really fun, like some of these like two tones, or, you know, like just really, really unique, really beautiful flowers that have come out of here. They are usable as a cut flower, but we don't know if we are going to keep using them as a cut flower because they're really delicate. We find that, like, you know, we'll pick one of these and then by the time we bring it down to the farmer's market a day later, the petals, you know, the petals are nice and strong here. If I try to pull the petals off, it actually just breaks the head off. But after picking them and having them sit in the water for a day, the petals just, they get too weak and they just drop their petals everywhere. We can't trust them to go home to people and continue to be nice cut flowers, so we'll just keep them as that beautiful backdrop.
This one is my personal favorite so far. And it's got a name that speaks to me as a boy who grew up in the 80s. It's bodacious. It's very cool.
I have been having a really hard time trying to figure out if I have a favorite. I've been really loving these all white. This is Florel is the name of it. They're just stunning. They're so big and like the pure creamy white. So beautiful. This one just opened the other day. This is called Mystery Day and I love this. I can't remember if this is a dinner plate Dahlia or not.
Yeah, Mystery Day was.
Mystery Day. We got one that wasn't a dinner plate. Blackberry Ripple. We didn't tag anything, so we've lost track of what is what. I think that this one here, this is a cafe au lait, but it's been tricking me because it's got a little bit of this purple on the outside, but it does have that beigey color, and I can't think of anything else that would have that color tone. This one hasn't started yet, but I know what this one is. This is Myrtle's Folly, and it has the shredded open petals. And this is what started all. This was our one that we grew last year that we loved so much that it got us hooked. Pretty sure that this one is Purple Tahoe, I think is the name of it. And really, really cool coloring. There was also a lavender, like this, because for the life of me, I can't figure out what this one is. I love it. But there's Lavender Perfection was another one. So maybe that is Lavender Perfection. This is Purple Tahoe. I need to get the list out, do the comparison. You know, it's tricky because you never know what it's actually going to be. Like this here, this is a dinner plate Dahlia, and it's single. For as far as I can tell, this is Ian's favorite, bodacious, and there's an issue with these tubers. They've reverted. They're not these big full doubles. They're now just a single. So what? You know, we got packs of 20, so there is going to be variation between, you know, what is what. Though we tried to get stuff that was distinct, so I should be able to tell. I have too many already, and I want more. This is probably my favorite of them all, though. This is Brigida Alita, and it's looking really sad right now because we've just had a week of 95 degrees, and so a bunch of it's died off, but it's this super dark, rich color, and this one, like, has been going for a couple weeks now. This is, you know, they're quite small, the flowers at this point. The first ones were these big massive ones like all the other ones we've been showing you, but yeah, when these first open, you know, this is a better example here. Just deep, dark, rich, beautiful color, and I haven't seen very many things in the garden that has those same deep, rich tones, so I've been loving these ones. We have a bunch of random spots planted up with flowers too. We have some perennials that we had planted into here when we moved. We transplanted a lot of things, and so this was one of our first gardens on the entire property. This was here even before we had started the farm. And now that it's had a few years to get established and to finally grow, this has really, really amazed us this year. We have been picking some beautiful things. They've been nice big plants. This whole section here of Rudbeckia, this I planted last year. There were these like sad little, you know, seedlings this big that I planted in August. I didn't think that they were going to survive the winter, but here they are. They've come back. I've been picking out of here for weeks now, and I just cut and I cut and I cut, and they just keep coming and coming and coming. And the size on these Rudbeckia, like, they're just gorgeous, gorgeous things. These might not come back next year because they weren't supposed to even be here this year. But now that I know that I can plant sad seedlings in August to get beautiful flowers the year following, I have a pack and a seed tray all ready to get started up in the next couple of weeks because I want this again next year. These Rudbeckia have been super fun and sunny. I've also been loving these daisies, these kind of like Shasta daisies that I have in here. This, yet again, wasn't planted to be a cut flower, just to be beautiful perennials, but they're working great as cut flowers. These, I love these. These are so cool, this yellow daisy. And the vase life on this has been amazing. I've been getting 2 weeks on these ones. So all this has been really nice to have because we kind of have a gap. Like, our zinnias just started this week, so it was nice to have something here for the last 3 weeks. This big fat cat likes flowers too, but he mostly likes snuggles. Snuggly guy. Last year, my mom in the spring brought me over a bag of 100 bulbs of liatris, and she said, oh, throw this in your flower farm. It'll be good and easy, it's drought tolerant. Planted up this section, and it then led to a whole bunch of trouble because now I'm all like, oh yeah, we totally need perennials. You know, I love those annuals like the zinnias and everything, you know, that we showed you in the main cutting farm. But, you know, having these liatris, I loved this. I loved working with it. It was so easy to grow. The vase life on it was amazing. These, you just like leave it, it dries. Like it dies and it still looks exactly the same. They start with these small puffs, but the flowers just keep going down, and so they sat here. If I didn't get to it, I had them for up to 3 weeks before I had to pick them out, and they weren't usable. So I really, really liked this to work with. This is everything I want in a cut flower. And it's funny because I now have started to look at bouquets and I really don't see this being used very often. So yet again, Serina's unique bouquets. But yeah, you will be seeing a lot of this in our bouquets this year because I bought 1,000 of them. After having that 100, I said, well, that was great. Let's times that by 10. And Ian gave me permission to go crazy for wholesale shopping, which means he's now in trouble because for the rest of his life, I'm gonna buy like 1,000 liatris every year until we're a liatris farm. But yeah, I bought 300 white, which I can't wait. I've seen it used in some people's landscaping and I love the look of it. It's gonna be super versatile. And then I have like, maybe, you know what, maybe I only bought 700. Maybe I bought 300 white and 400 purple. That makes more sense. But I round up to 1,000 because that means I have 800. But yeah, I have this in 2 beds planted of this, as well as the back end of that purple liatris bed is more of the white liatris. So I'm gonna have more of this that I know what to do with, but it's so easy to grow. I love having these perennials, which led to even more perennial shopping, even more bulbs. I also bought 200 lilies while I was at it because I figure let's get more of this stuff. This is gonna come back year after year. These lilies, this liatris, and so because of that, we planted everything into the black landscape fabric because we just want to make it easy. We want in the spring for this stuff to come up, you know, we have to water it, but we only have to do limited weeding on it. So our hope is that, you know, eventually we get 1,000 square feet, 2,000 square feet of this type of simple perennials that come back year after year, that are easy to use, easy to take care of, and versatile for our bouquets. Then it makes it easier to just add the annuals that we need, but we always have a base. The plan is that eventually we want all the area surrounding this beautiful greenhouse to be permanent perennial cut flower beds. We want to surround this greenhouse in beautiful, beautiful flowers that come back year after year. This also having a section where all the perennials are, it just makes it easier for us to take care of stuff when we can be like, the annual production is here, the perennial production is here. You know, eventually I think we have up to 3,000 square feet in around here that we could fill, and we can see it from the house. It's super beautiful, and like, what a beautiful way to showcase this greenhouse, get all these beautiful plants. So that is, we're kind of looking at the 3-year vision on that. You know, we've already half filled it in. We've been dreaming of putting in 100 peonies. I bought 3,000 tulips that are coming into this area for the fall to be there for me to pick for the spring. So it's going to be extending our season for selling cut flowers, and it's going to look great.
Get out your pencils. Serena's about to share her pro tip.
We have been waiting for the perfect moment to share this experiment with you guys, and what a better time than an entire video talking just about the flower farm. This cluster of chaos that I am standing in front of is a handful of crusty old carrots that I weeded out of the farm early spring, that I came and literally just crammed into the hole in landscape fabric. Like, take a hammer, tap it in, you know, not that bad, but almost. And then this is what carrots turn into. You know, all those people who grow the little ends of their carrots, this is what they get in the end if they plant those into the farm. These are carrot flowers, and carrot flowers are conveniently pretty much exactly Queen Anne's lace. So this stuff holds up super good in the vase. It's this really nice filler and super versatile and easy and early, because I'm using those old carrots. They're full of energy, and they don't have to, you know, a Queen Anne's lace first grows a carrot before then doing flowers. So this, a great solution for turning waste into beauty. We also have a few experiments that we've been running in the flower farm this year. These are straw flowers, and we have just, you know, a tiny little section of them, but I have been loving these. They're so beautiful, and they're so cool the way they actually are this, like, you know, they feel like they're made out of cardboard. They're amazing. The mix of colors that they've been is really impressive, and these, even if I can't sell these as fresh flower bouquets, these have a lot of value dried. I can mix them into a garlic braid, or I can have them as dried bunches. I have a bunch of these leftover bouquets hung up here, and the idea with this is I want to see what all these flowers look like when they're dried. A lot of the stuff that we grow just for our bouquets is stuff that people also grow to do as dried flowers, and right now apparently it's the 80s again, dried flowers are trendy. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know exactly what people are looking for, but it's easy enough for me to hang them up here instead of throwing them in the compost pile. So I'm gonna dry up a bunch of stuff this year, and then come frost, all my flowers are dead. I'll see if any of this is stuff that people want. If this is something that I can sell at the farmer's market, then that is amazing, and I can put that into my farm plan for years to come. And while we're at it, I might as well show you what our farm stand looks like right now. Now that we have flowers, every second day I'm making sure to get fresh flowers out here. I just restocked a little bit before we did this video, so I'm very happy with everything. You know, here's the perfect example of a Serina bouquet. I got a bunch of Liatris and some Bennery's giant Zinnias in there. You know, I love the looks of it. But yeah, so we do $10 bouquets, a $10 bunch or a $10 jar. People can come and grab them, and hopefully they will. I may or may not pick weeds out of here to sell as cut flowers as well. I'm telling you guys, cilantro, you let it go to seed, makes the best filler. I've been loving it. Last but not least, down at the very bottom of our farm, the very last bed of anything worth growing, is this massive wall of pure money. These are our sunflowers, and this was our most profitable flower that we grew last year. We do just a simple branching sunflower mix. We got a whole range of colors. It's a really beautiful mix, and they will produce more than one flower if you can grow them healthy enough. I grew some sad ones that only did one flower last year, but these, they're loving it. They're loving life, so I'll get multiple pickings off of them. We do bunches of 10 sunflowers. I come down here and I literally just fill my arms. It takes me like a half an hour, and I have, you know, like $150 worth of sunflower bunches, and these sold really good. They, you know, with the 10, they're so full, they're so just like a wall of sunflowers for a bouquet that they make it seem like a super good value for our customers down at the farmers market, and they're so easy to grow. So highly recommend this. If you're gonna grow flowers, make sure you got a lot of this going on too. So now you know absolutely everything that I'm growing in my flower farm, and hopefully a lot of details about what we do for growing flowers here at Red Roof Family Farm. If you enjoyed this, we have a few other flower videos from last year, and obviously there's more flower content coming because Ian still has to pay for all those dinner plate dahlias that we bought with his YouTube farm. So we'll be giving you an update on that later.